G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back to Monday Musings. For all of my new subscribers, and there is several thousand of you, Monday Musings is the show where I ramble about some topic that's been on my mind, and I ramble about it for 10 or 15 minutes, and occasionally, I like to say, you guys get something out of it. So, it's been a couple of weeks since I did one of these, and that's because I've been going pretty hardcore on Path of Exile, as you've seen from my content, and I've been having a ton of fun with it. I've been having a real blast, probably the most fun I've ever had with Path of Exile. It's also been very significant, the amount of new people that have come to my channel, been watching my content, and been supporting me and subscribing and things like that. So that's kind of the topic I want to talk about today in Monday Musings video for this day, the current day that I'm talking on. Anyway, the footage in the background that I'll probably put in will be some mapping I did with Willy Wonka and a few of the other guys, and this has been pretty significant. I've been playing with a few different streamers, and I've been playing pretty hardcore with a lot of really good Path of Exile players, and this has been a pretty big deal for me. I've always been a bit of a solitary gamer, but jumping on and playing with these other guys and, you know, getting a little bit more exposure, getting out there, having a chance to interact with people live through other people's streams, living vicariously a bit there, has been really fun and made me enjoy the game a lot more. I've been having so much fun with Path of Exile since launch. So the actual topic of this Monday Musings, however, is not just Path of Exile. I kind of want to talk about the current state of my YouTube channel, how I'm going on YouTube, what things are looking like for me, whether I'm secure in my position as a full-time YouTuber, and how I'll be moving forwards in the future. So on September 18th, I made a video called basically something like, I'm going full-time on YouTube and how you can help. I talked about that I just finished up my last little bits of freelance work. I was doing some freelance web design and some freelance writing up to that point to help pay the bills in addition to what I was earning from YouTube, which is only a pretty small amount, and is still, you know, a relatively small amount if you compare it to a traditional job. But it's becoming much more stable and much more comfortable. So I kind of took this leap. I left my freelance work. I stopped doing that a little bit earlier than I had originally planned, because I wanted to really focus on YouTube, and I'm happy to say now I'm really glad I did, because it's really paid off and it's been really enjoyable and really awesome to do. So I was going full time. I told you guys that the best thing you could do to help me was to share my content with other people. That was the biggest thing you could do to help me. And I'm happy to say that that has really happened. You guys have been amazing through that. I've seen countless people sharing my Path of Exile content, recommending me to other people, and I even heard a bunch of you guys like put a petition to Chris Wilson to make sure he included me in one of their news posts. I had no idea this was even happening, and then they included me in this news post, and that was a huge deal for me. So many people that had never seen my content before, but had, you know, read the Path of Exile news and things like that directly on the website, found some of my content from that. Something like 10,000 extra people went and visited my channel just from that, from you guys asking Chris Wilson and recommending him to throw my content out there. You know, I already know Chris Wilson, I already talked to him, but I don't really tell him to put my stuff in the stuff. But the fact that you guys all requested it, he was like, yeah, this is awesome, and he put it in there. That was so good. That was so good. You can really see the impact that has had on my channel, on my content, and everything that I do, and helping me secure as a full-time YouTuber. So I'm happy to say things are going very well. I was doing pretty well, really focusing since I went full-time. At the start of last month, I started making content a bit more focused. I started focusing on making different types of Diablo 3 content, making some Path of Exile content, trying to improve my skills in doing things like commentaries, like I did some Baldur's Gate commentaries and things like that, which turned out really good, improved my skill set by quite a bit. So really intensely focusing, and things were growing pretty nicely. At the time, I was about $30 to $40 a day on YouTube, and I am allowed to share these numbers before you worry. I make sure that when I join networks, they don't have any weird restrictions against what I can tell you guys. I like to be nice and open with what I'm doing on YouTube and be very open about this sort of stuff, because it's something I wish I had been able to find out more info about when I started out on YouTube, and I know some of you guys also doing the YouTube thing. So yeah, I was doing about $30 to $40 a day, which is just enough to cover just rent. So in addition to Amy also earning some money herself, we were kind of able to almost just kind of scrape by. Pretty rough. But we were kind of getting there. But since Path of Exile launch, my views have more than doubled. Now this is going to decline a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot more interest around right when a game launches, right when it becomes really focused on in the media and things like that. But it's still looking like it's going to be a huge impact on my sustainability as a full-time YouTuber, which is super, super exciting because I feel like, you guys are validating my efforts through this by sharing my content and doing all this sort of stuff and having a lot more views come to it, and all the effort I've put in over the last year to make like really sick Path of Exile content, especially because Path of Exile was always kind of more of a hobby for me. There was never a huge amount of views in Path of Exile content, never a huge amount of money, so I just made it because I really enjoyed covering the game and I really wanted more people to play it and enjoy it. So over the past year I've done tons and tons of that, and it's all kind of led up to this point at launch where I had a really awesome back roster of content. You guys were able to go out there and tell other people about that content. They came to my channel. I've made a bunch of new cool content with my new improved skill set, and it's just been working really, really well. The past week or so, my earnings have been closer to the $90 to $100 a day mark, which is on par with a real life job, on par with a real life job. But I'm doing YouTube and playing video games and doing something I absolutely love. So if I can continue to sustain even 60% of this, so if I drop back down to like $50 or $60, then I'm going to have enough money to move house, pay more expensive rent, get better internet, and start streaming. That's pretty exciting. I know a lot of you guys really want to see me streaming. I did do one live stream for a couple hours when I was streaming the alpha passive tree through a web browser at 480p, 24 frames per second. It was rubbish, but like 500 to 1,000 of you guys showed up to watch that. And that was crazy. Being able to interact with all you guys live, I really, really, really enjoyed that. So that was really sick. Really looking forward to doing more of that. At the moment, for those of you guys who don't know, I can't stream. Australian internet is just not fast enough. I have 0.8 megabytes up, and that's not enough to stream an actual video game and be able to play the video game at the same time, especially when it's an online game. So can't do that. I could stream a web browser, only just. Pretty bit of a struggle on my internet, but we are looking to move houses, and this is kind of what is going to be one of the big things moving forwards. So let's talk about my plans moving forwards now that I've starting to really secure my position as a full-time YouTuber and being able to continue to make awesome content for you guys. Gonna keep doing the Path of Exile thing for the foreseeable future. I imagine Path of Exile is going to be a game I play seriously, and off and on, I'm sure I'll take breaks to play other games, or the content will kind of bubble away. I might only make one video a week at some points in the future, but over the next decade, I see myself playing Path of Exile because it's a game that the developers are constantly improving, and it's an awesome game that I just really fit well into, and the community is awesome as well, and the community's been very nice to me as well, so I really enjoy being around you guys and playing that game. So definitely going to be plenty of Path of Exile moving forwards. I can't see that changing anytime soon. We've also got Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls coming up soon. This week, in fact, I think is BlizzCon. We're going to get a ton of new info about that. I'm really excited. I enjoy, for the record, for those of you guys who instantly like, oh, Diablo 3, worst game of all time, I really enjoy both Diablo 3 and Path of Exile for different reasons. They're different games in my eyes, and I enjoy both of them. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Reaper of Souls stuff. Going to make some sweet content on that about what happens at BlizzCon, give some of my analysis and thoughts, and then I'm going to be doing some hardcore prep for Reaper of Souls closer to its launch, and we'll hopefully be able to stream that as well, in addition to making lots of sick videos for you guys. So going to be plenty of Diablo 3 and Path of Exile content. Also going to be playing some indie games. I enjoy doing some indie games and old school RPGs. I really enjoyed doing the Baldur's Gate thing. I want to continue that, and maybe even do Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition when it comes out, and probably even Project Eternity when it comes out as well. Do some old school RPGs in the mix there, because a lot of you guys seem to enjoy that, and I really enjoy covering them as well. So I don't know what other sort of games, but I'm keeping my mind open for those other sorts of things. I'm not too big on the Let's Plays, but I do enjoy doing like a serious kind of commentary on games like I did with Baldur's Gate, and like what I'm doing with the Path of Exile walkthrough series. So looking forward to doing more of that. And the big next step is to also start streaming. So over the next month or two, me and Amy are hopefully looking to move houses to somewhere with the National Broadband Network, which is the cable fibre internet setup in Australia. It's only in a few places, and it's very hard to get houses there, and typically the rent is more expensive. But as I said, the YouTube thing's been growing really, really well through all of your support. So that should be able to cover rent in a more expensive place, and we should be able to get on there and start streaming. Streaming is going to be a pretty big deal for me. I feel like I can do really well at it. I really enjoy interacting on a very intense level. I love talking to you guys a lot, answering questions, doing all that sort of stuff, and I want to do more focused streams. I do some, just gameplay, me focusing on the game as well, but mostly I want to do a lot of interactive stuff, because to me that's the whole point of live streaming. I can focus on the game and make YouTube videos on that, but when I start live streaming, it's a chance for me to talk to you guys, instantly. Whereas at the moment, I pretty much answer comments often, like within 10 minutes of you guys posting them, where I can. There's actually been way too many comments for me to answer since Path of Exile's launch, but where I can, I try to answer them instantly, but live streaming is going to be an even better version of that. That's going to bring in a lot of new viewers and help me grow the YouTube thing as well. I plan on making the YouTube my main focus, I think, for the foreseeable future, but streaming will be an excellent addition to what I do. And yeah, that's kind of my plan moving forward. That's the next step, to get in the house, get set up, get streaming, and then we kind of have another long-term plan that's getting pretty exciting as well. We want to set up a house where other YouTubers and streamers can come live for short periods of time, or maybe even for a few months at a time, and we kind of work together to produce awesome content, and we stream together. You guys have probably seen some of the streaming houses set up in the US, like Swifty's streaming house. I'm thinking more of a setup where we can focus more on the content production together, have it be a bit more intensive, and maybe even like I can help people with their YouTube things and things like that. So that's very exciting. We're moving forwards with plans with that. We're trying to find some houses and things we can do with that. Amy's very excited about that as well. She's always wanted to run a B&B, and I've always wanted to bring people together to work on the things that I'm passionate about. So that kind of combines these two ideas, pretty exciting, and I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. But if you're interested, if you live in Australia or if you're overseas and would potentially come to a house like that, where basically you get fed, sheltered, and given awesome internet and able to play games and make sick content with a bunch of other people that make sick content, then send me a message. I actually will put an email in the description below for you guys. But that's been the update on how things are going. I want to thank you guys all for the incredible support and sharing all of my content, and to welcome the several thousand of my new subscribers. There's like 3,000 or 4,000 of you guys that have come just from the Path of Exile launch. Welcome to Rayclast. It is an amazing game, as I'm sure you're pretty aware now, and I hope you guys stick around for a long time, and I'll keep making content for you guys for a long time to come. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.